All right, are you interested in controversy? Do you want to get into politics? Do you want to get into religion? Well, I've got something just as controversy, and it's called no man's land on a deer. Is there such a thing as no man's land, or the dead space, or the space below a deer's backbone where you can put an arrow below the backbone and it goes above the lungs, the arrow goes through, and the animal ends up living? Well, I'm here to give you my opinion based upon evidence, and then I want to see what you think of that. Okay, now, first off, I'm going to tell you a story, and it's going to be a story in pictures of a deer that my son shot that's going to be very helpful to answer this question. So here's the story real quick. I was in my shop. We had a tree stand at the end of our driveway. It was late season. Jacob came back in and says, Dad, I shot a buck. It ran 40 yards sideways and tipped over, died. I knew immediately where he hit it. He hit it in the backbone, and that's why it had like a pinch in its back, why it ran sideways. It only went 40 yards because he hit the aorta underneath the backbone, and it bled to death that quick. Okay, so I had that figured out. I was right on that. I guess I got lucky. But the catch is, did it die of a double lung shot and an aorta shot, or did it die from just an aorta shot? Because he could have went above the lungs if there was a dead space and just hit the aorta. Good argument, okay? So let's take a look at what we found out. Okay, so here's the deer. This shows exactly what I'm wanting you to do. This shows the entrance hole right here. Of course, this shows the dead deer with a happy hunter, and we shoot trophy bucks by me here. That's the entrance. This is the exit hole. This is the top view. Now we're going to go over here. Now on the inside, look at this. This is where he came in on the rib cage from the inside. He went through here, and he actually hit the backbone. Now, at that point, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to try to take this off, and we're going to see if we can get this on video. But where he came in, if you see this chip, if I can bring that in there and hold that and show you the chip right there, he not only went underneath the backbone, he actually hit the backbone and took a chunk of it out, and he used his muzzy broadhead, okay? Now, and to just let you see, this is where he hit it here, and this is where it came out. These are the actual ribs that we fiberglassed and we cleaned, that we put back together just to show this. So in other words, I'm going to spin this around here, and this is where it was that he hit the animal, okay? Now let's go over here and let's take a look at the lungs. As you can see here, if this is not in the way, his arrow hit both lungs. Now, if he was in a tree and he was angling down and he hit the backbone, that means he came in above the backbone to hit it, and yet he hit a lung on the entrance side. That is 100% impossible if there's a dead space there. But you can see he did it. So this will show you here on the entrance side where the broadhead cut the lung. And I want you to notice, you see how the cut there is not perfectly clean? One way you can tell if your broadheads are razor sharp, those cuts will be absolutely perfect. If they're not razor sharp, you're going to see that it tears it a little bit, okay? That's the entrance. This is coming down deeper here in the exit. This will show you a top view, and I want you to see, if you notice the two little cuts, that's the aorta there. His broadhead literally went through and made two cuts in the aorta. This is the entrance lung coming in. This is the exit lung coming out. And you can see he just cut the top of it here, going in, and his broadhead went all the way in underneath the top of the lung coming out. Now, this shows again, if you hit the backbone, that the aorta attaches under the backbone, and the lungs, if you take a look at them here, if you take a look at these here, they are heart-shaped. If I can hold that just right, try to get out of the picture so you don't got to look at me. They're heart-shaped where the top of these ribs actually go up higher than where the backbone is. So when people say that the lungs are below the backbone, I tell people this statement, and I'm reluctant to do it because they think I'm crazy, but the lungs actually go above the backbone. Okay? So as we go along down here, these pictures show you just a little bit more where it tore coming in, we pulled the arrow out, where the arrow came out, where it cut the aorta. So I have documented this on a fair number of animals where they've been hit so high that they hit the backbone, and yet they hit the lung on the entrance side when they're in a tree stand every single time. So as far as my evidence goes, it proves there is no man's land. But I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I would like to find out if it's there. So if I can find somebody that can shoot a deer, that they shoot the deer and it goes underneath the backbone, they show me the 2 holes, we find the lungs, and there's no hole in the lungs. I would love to document this because I don't have any dog in the fight. I have nothing I'm trying to prove. I look at it as I'm a reporter and I'm trying to report the truth and evidence. And there are things that I'm finding that I don't understand. And I even had a thoracic surgeon. I showed a hog that I had on the floor. I showed where the animal was hit and what organ should have been hit there. And I said, how could he have not hit this organ? And he had no answer. So I'm on a journey. You can help me and we can have a lot of fun doing this together if you help me. So what do you think? I'm sure if you follow me on the Anatomy Hunter, you share my passion about wanting hunters to be able to kill more deer and wound less. For you to be able to help me, you could send me your videos to the anatomyhunter.org and you'll find a place that'll say perfect the shot and all the instructions are there. Thank you very much. I smoke.